Hey, so welcome back to another episode of Initializing AI, where we discuss all things tech and AI. Once again, we have Mayuresh Krishna, co-founder of Initialize.ai, here with us, and welcome back. So, what have you been up to?
I actually just came back from reInvent, and it was exhilarating amount of AI and AI innovations which are happening. We're doing a lot of work in small language models and LoRa adapters and how you can do further efficiency optimization on running your models. So there were really cool conversations which were happening in reInvent. So yeah, I think I'm excited about how things are progressing.
Awesome. Now I have a bar to reach and create a cooler conversation here. But okay. And today we will dig deeper into what AI is and what are the different types of AI out there and the different workflows that go into establishing and deploying them. What are the different workflows that you have seen though? Like as a writer myself, I have to read up a lot of things and look into things and all of that. But slowly I'm depending more on Perplexity than Google, which is like weird because before I would like scroll through the links myself, but now Perplexity brings up the links and I'm like, okay, these must be the good leads and everything, sources and everything. So yeah, that just made me think like that must be a very specific type of AI, right? But like in the industry, how many different types of workflows are there? Like
Yeah, I think I think one of the most common construct is now agentic AI workflows, right? And there are many use cases. As I said, now you're relying more on Perplexity. So think of it as like as a writer, as a creative person, you would use these assistants to help you with maybe researching or designing, editing. Uh, these AI workflows can be applied to at this point pretty much every industry. Think of it as I'm in startup and not just startup like in any enterprise who are selling things. They used to have a large fleet of salespeople who would actually go do sales, even inbound sales agents. Now you can use AI agentic workflows to do your SDRs, which are sales development. So AI agents can do research for you, find leads, research about their background, research what they're looking for, look for indicators around buying signals, and then give you like, you know what, this is the email you should send to this person.
right. But that's more of an individual point of view, right? But within the industry, say like B2B or like someone within enterprises themselves, like what are the different kinds of workflows followed? Like sure, agentic AI is very cool and we will come back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what are the different ways in which it's slowly like, seeping into our workflows?
Not sure. Let's pause. Different AI workflows.
Because it can't be just me using Perplexity or you using ChatGPT to find this out right now. You could do that actually.
I think let's
you could do that. We could do that.
What different workflows are there?
So as we can see, one of the use cases is finding out what AI can do.
What different? Actually, we can use this. What different workflows are there in AI, in the use cases?
Let's see if ChatGPT is going to slip something.
Okay, so predictive analytics. I think that has been there for a long time. Right? The predictive analytics construct around. I think we talked about fraud detection or detection of even weather patterns. All that gets into the predictive analytics side of the world. Natural language processing is what we are doing right now with the agents. Right now. Essentially talk to your AI in a conversation and get something back from it. Computer vision. Computer vision is so essentially computer vision gets into many different aspects, right? It can be just using the vision to collect data, using the vision to recognize something, detect something, even classify things. There are defense use cases around image detection and computer vision where you can actually do pretty advanced maneuvers and things with computer vision.
It's like that startup, no, the gaming startup. Like for context, we sort of met some gaming studio startups yesterday, and one of them had some pretty like elaborate motion sensors and like computer vision included stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much similar to that, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there are different types of workflows which you can apply
Right.
in enterprise.
And what makes you think agentic AI is the coolest? Like, I don't know.
So-
Like, I saw that Initialize was working with that, but
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing about agentic AI is it has its own mind. It's almost like it has an autonomy to do things. The idea is that the agentic AI can take decisions on its own based on the parameters it has, and be essentially driven by the goal, which it might be set by the training it has, but it takes its own decisions, and it has its own autonomy to take this decision and do something. And that makes it different than what we have been doing so far, and that's why I feel it's pretty cool that how it evolves, how it will evolve eventually.
sounds very much like Jarvis. Yeah, like an autonomous assistant. But other than the autonomous part, like what other thing is so unique about it? Like, do you think it can go completely autonomous? Because we are going to be the ones programming it.
Yeah.
So can it actually make decisions that have not been made before? Like,
I think autonomy is one of the aspects of agentic AI, but it also has the construct of intent. Everything it's doing, it has an intent. It's an intent-driven thing where the autonomy is coming from the intent to achieve a goal. Now, it's fair that the goal is set by humans, right? And we are setting that, okay, this is the goal for this particular agent, and it has an intent to achieve that goal. That's why the autonomy comes into play. But in future, I don't know. I mean, like, let's talk about AGI and artificial general intelligence. We might get to a place where the autonomy of these agents get into a place where there is no fixed goal. It doesn't stop there. It can actually learn from the environment and actually do more than what it was supposed to do.
sure, it can, but like, what makes you think it will? And like, how
Yeah.
do you see it going?
Yes, I do feel that we will, as an industry, there's a lot of effort going on around how do we make sure there are guardrails and things which are there to prevent AI to just go haywire, right? It will. So the idea is that through human enforcement, you make the AI stay in the rails, and like you kind of keep on, even if the AI has capability to autonomously understand and learn from the environment and dynamically learn from the inputs which is happening outside of its training, can still be restrained to the goal it is supposed to achieve and not go beyond that.
Right. I mean, I don't know if it was agentic AI that was being employed or whatever, but basically, some customer calls are now being taken by robotic voices, and they are pretty interactive conversation. But I still think like there would be some humans in place, right, who are like still monitoring those conversations, because
Yeah.
I think we have touched upon this topic of profanity in
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
So there would still be people involved, right? So what actual edge does it give us to employ agentic AI in places where people are still required to keep it in check? It sort of reduces the humanness of the interaction. Like,
Right.
it feels so weird. Like, I was very weirded out by the AI taking the call,
Taking
and I
the
was
call. Yeah, true. I mean, I think if you think of it as we're still early,
Yeah.
we're in the early phases of what AI agents and AI itself can do. So we need human intervention and being there as part of almost like quality and safety control. Like beyond just that, okay, we still are working through the construct of where we can make it better, and we need to teach it to be better. But beyond that, we need that human intervention for safety guardrails. We need that human intervention to making sure that if the information is not going in the right direction, can you pause it? Can you stop it? Can you change the direction of how AI is interacting? So yeah, I mean, it's still early. even though you felt that you were talking to AI, I think we were already at a place where you would get a call from an AI agent and you won't even recognize it. I was just watching a video of a live call where the person on the other side was not aware of that this is an agentic AI or is an AI talking to them as a representative, and they couldn't figure it out. It was so real, right?
Yeah, but haven't we heard of these only in the cases of like scams and all? Because like I can't imagine an actual practical application of this where say it would actually give us an edge. Can you think of any such situation where like putting an AI agent instead of a human agent would actually give us some technical advantage? Because till now, whatever we have heard of is in the form of like phishing or scamming.
Yeah,
So, like,
so there are many use cases. I think the goal is, I feel the goal is to let's do the mundane, repetitive sort of tasks through AI so that as humans, we can start thinking more strategically and kind of go above the day-to-day repetitive tasks. Simple example could be very common things which are happening right now is the calls you would make to schedule something in any business, right? Whether it's uh, medical practice or a physician's office trying to schedule, what do you call that? Schedule the appointments, or a sales agent trying to schedule a meeting, or a SDR trying to schedule a meeting for a demo. Those kind of things can be completely taken over by AI, where if the conversation can be so realistic that it does not require you to deep dive into a lot of different aspects of conversation. It is kind of goal is let's talk to them about, okay, we have already had a touch point through something, and we want to do this, say a demo about initialized platform, and you're having a conversation about what is your availability for a demo for 30 minutes next week or the week after. That kind of conversation can be easily taken over by AI, where it is a very, very repetitive, which does not require a lot of intelligence to do. And so why to put a human for that? Right now, we need humans to do that, and that can be taken over by AI.
well, what if someone tries to think about it from the angle of humans needing those jobs? Like, I mean, not everyone can be upskilled to that level yet, right? At least in the context of the Indian economy.
Yeah, so what I would say is that the goal is not to humans upskilling themselves to like in technology. The goal is to humans to upskill themselves from the perspective of uh, thoughts or ideas or strategies. In a sense of that, don't think about it from the perspective of that. Now you need to think like how can you build something beyond AI, right? But think about what does make sense in your life strategically, what day-to-day things you can solve for, and instead of doing the mundane repetitive tasks, now you can focus more on like as a writer, your creativity, right? You can focus more on like what kind of new things I can think about from creativity perspective versus spending a lot of time in going through the Google search links. Now, instead of going through the Google search links, maybe you can get your mundane tasks done in less than 10 minutes. And now you have rest of the day to now creatively think, what should I do next? What kind of ideas I meant to think about. So that's the goal is not to that you have to become smarter than AI, because now the low level jobs are taken by AI. It's about let AI do the low level jobs so that now you can do more constructive strategic thinking.
Makes sense. That does make sense. But still, like, if you think at a certain level, like, there are points where you do need a human being in place. Or, like, what if, like, the other way around? Like, what if human beings start mimicking how, say, LLMs are generating? Like, a simple example would be how, like, ChatGPT became famous when we were in college.
Right.
So, like, a lot of the times we would just make it do our assignments. And
Yeah.
I did not. I did my own assignments. Just putting that out. But yeah, so yeah, we made a ChatGPT do our assignments, and don't you think like in that case, for example, like AI was smarter than us in fact, and that
Yeah.
sort of did stunt our understanding of the subject matter.
Yeah.
Don't you see this, like, with an increase in the accessibility of AI, don't you think humans will actually stop using their creativity? Because
Yes, true.
sure, AI is supposed to make us more creative by doing the mundane jobs,
Right.
but like we are now not even going beyond that. So
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a little bit of challenge right now. I mean, I think we are in a flux right now where we're trying to understand what is our relationship with AI.
yeah.
It's almost like new marriage,
Yeah.
right? Or a new, or a new
Arranged marriage.
or new relationship. You just start dating and you're trying to figure out like how will it work,
Yeah.
right? And I think we are in that phase where we have to understand how do we use it constructively instead of it actually destroying our overall creative capability. So that danger is there, that challenge is there, that we use AI so much that we stop using our creative juices. A very common example is that nobody remembers phone numbers anymore.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh my God. Yes.
Now, because we all have our phones and we store it over there. Did that make us our capacity to remember things lower? Maybe. I feel myself that I think I cannot remember things as much as I might have without these devices. Maybe because I even feel that I don't need to remember it.
Yeah.
And if you don't use that memory often, eventually your capacity to memorize things will reduce. So those dangers are there, and I think we as humans will have to continue to make sure that we are not completely giving away our not just the creativity thinking or side of thinking, but even autonomy of our brains. Right? We don't want to get to a point where we don't even have a way to think because we are so much dependent on AI that we have lost the ability to think. 100 years from now, we have, say, been so dependent on AI and we have not taught anyone to think, then we might lose the ability to thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's almost like it's almost like the movies that we have seen, right?
Yeah.
If you remember Terminator, the Terminator was where an AI from future comes back to the past to kill a human because they were the one who were going to destroy AI. And almost like that storyline can be lead into the construct of the movie Matrix, right? Where now AI has already taken over. So you can even think of that, the machine, maybe you have come to the Terminator movie to kill the human who would actually become the Neo to stop AI in Matrix. But I think
as long as we make it just take customer calls, it's okay.
As long as take customer calls, do the mundane jobs, I think we would survive.
Yeah.
I think there are dangers which we'll have to navigate. And as I said, any advancement you do in civilization or world, there will be bad people who will take bad advantages of that, and we just have to take care of that through legal systems.
Until, say, one AI agent is there fighting a case in the court.
In the court, yeah.
And you're just like, okay.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting. Like when you go to a court for a case, apart from evidence, a lot of is fought over the ability for the lawyers to actually present the case and prove things out.
Yeah.
You might even get into AI battles where both the AI are so good that nobody is able to win the case.
And they decide to take over the government. Yeah. So yeah, as interesting and dangerous as it sounds, how does Initialize decide to employ Agentic AI into your workflows? It's part of the services you provide, right?
So the way we are building this out is coming back to the current reality of it is we are building out the lower level Lego blocks of what it would need to run any kind of agents or any kind of AI agents. Then we will provide the ability to put those Lego blocks together for multitask agents, right? So now you can build one agent which can do a certain task, easily as one Lego block. Then you do another agent which can do a second task as another agent Lego block. And now you can stitch those together as an entire workflow of things that it could be that you're trying to you're trying to schedule a meeting for a demo, which eventually should convert into a sale, right? So one agent could be scheduling the meetings. The next agent could be even getting to things like we're doing the demo. The next agent could be negotiating the contract. So you can kind of build some sort of a workflow around it. And this is, I think this example was kind of a very widely distributed, but you could have in under one use case, you could have multiple paths of the agents built as a workflow. Our goal is to, once we have provided these Lego blocks to build individual agents, we'll provide some sort of a easy to use canvas to build the workflow.
And how do you like choose the people to give to? Because as you said, it's pretty dangerous in like questionable hands. So like, do you have any sort of like requirements or guardrails regarding that as well? Because
we're starting off with observability in terms of first giving in the hands of the user themselves to see what their AI is doing. But from the perspective of if a bad actor is trying to use the platform, we are looking at ways to provide guardrails to the system itself around just a simple example that we might apply prompt abuse guardrail out of the box. So
out of the box as well?
as in that anything which you deploy on the platform could have that prompt abuse guardrail already there. Whether it acts as something which stops prompt abuse, or it could be just which informs that there is a prompt abuse happening. So again, the whole AI ecosystem is evolving, and where it is going, we still have to learn. What we will try to do is learn from like what's happening and figure out a way that we're always able to understand what's happening, so that even if we are not taking any decision right now or not doing anything about it right now, we have some understanding of what's happening, so that we can go back and apply those. So if we are able to figure out that somebody is doing either prompt abuse or prompt injection or even using profanity, and they are a bad actor, if we are able to see what's happening, then we can maybe apply some sort of guardrails on top of it.
So if someone wants to take over the government, they can use Initialize but not get away with it.
I think at this point, somebody who wants to take over the government won't have to come to Initialize. They will take over the government through ChatGPT in that case.
Cool. Yeah, but still, like if you think about it, the overall human input still increases, right? Because it's like letting a child into the kitchen at this point. Like, you know the child can cook, but you still have to take care of the mess. So, like, how do you see yourself as like a platform provider evolving so that these guardrails are also more automatic? Because like it's very involved right now, right? So,
True. I mean, I think as I said, AI as well as us are in early stages. So we are like that child in the kitchen right now. We are trying to play with it, see where the mess is, and as we understand these messes, we'll try to build guardrails around it. Try to build some, some process and organization around it. As we do these things, we'll learn from it, and then we'll apply those guardrails to it. So, like, eventually we might come to a place where certain aspects of the platform is applied out of the box because the AI guardrails needs to be there. There are several, the ethical AI construct is kind of in the minds of every country at this point, right? So every country is working on different ways for AI regulations, AI guardrails, as well as AI, the ethical AI, and how it can, how we can make sure that AI is not going off the rails and doing things. So as these regulations, as these guardrails evolve at every country level as well as globally, we'll have to apply those, right? You might even get to a place where certain aspects of AI are kind of governed by law that you cannot allow this, which is probably already happening in case of Europe, because Europe is the first entity who has already rolled out AI regulations. Then you cannot do certain things, or you cannot allow certain things on your platform in that case. So we'll have to evolve as these things get kind of figured out, the regulations are built, the laws are built, and then you would have that this platform or any platform in that case have to abide by those laws. So you would have things which we would apply from technology perspective to make sure that this already happens on the platform, and then we would have to apply certain things based on the regulations which come into play.
So what kind of a timeline are we looking at? Like, as in, I don't know, you mentioned like certain aspects of AI being controlled, certain aspects of AI being free. So like, can you explain or elaborate on that as in?
Yeah, but
just out of curiosity.
it is, I said, like AI is moving so fast. It is happening in real time, and it's happening pretty quickly. And because the advancement are happening pretty quickly, we need to have the guardrails and security and regulations around it pretty quickly as well. Every country is at this point actively working on different aspects of it, where you don't want to stifle the innovation, but you still want to be able to have safety guardrails there.
So does like Initialize think of ever like going ahead of the speed basically of innovation?
I think everybody is trying to. We are as well. Our goal is to innovate at the pace where we are able to get the point where we can do something novel, whether it's in the space of our primary goal is in the space of simplicity and optimization or efficiency. So we are constantly thinking about novel ideas around how do we make things more efficient.
Can you talk about one such novel idea?
It's like one such. I'll just talk about a very technical construct of that novel idea. One is we have been continuously looking at how do we use least amount of resources to achieve the same quality of output from an AI model. And one of the things which we are trying to look into is, apart from increasing the efficiency of the model, how do we reinforce the learning of that model real time? In a sense that, and to an extent, it's not a very novel idea. I mean, I think everybody is looking into that, but we're looking at what are different ways to achieve that, where you train something to your specific use case, but there are new information coming up in real time, and you're injecting that new information into the model so that it actually gets evolved into a newer model. Now,
I hear a lot of vague descriptions. So is that going to be our topic for the next episode, if any? Because
I think we could look at different aspects of how almost streamed learning can happen.
Interesting.
Real-time streamed learning.
Cool. So we'll stay tuned for the next time we meet again then, and we'll discover and talk more about it in depth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it was really great talking to you, MK. Thank you so much for coming in.
Awesome. It's always a pleasure.
Build on Initialize. Try it today.